is the door just about the cat? And it's not about us having an intimate kind of our marriage, side of our marriage. Anyways, like I'm not interested in having an intimate marriage anymore.
Girl, hell.
I don't like your
serious troubles in our marriage for 12
jealous.
years.
Why are you not looking at me?
I don't know. I just, whatever. Let's just
okay.
No, I've been yelled at for 4 days.
And everybody else do it.
You haven't been yelled at, crybaby.
I felt like I was cutting you off too harshly. I was like, no, that'll never happen. We're not moving back to Utah. And I feel bad. I want to say I'm sorry.
I don't believe him that he's
sorry. She's been telling everybody she wants to leave, and she's never told me. She's never talked to me about it. So when she says that...
Sorry to see you go.
You won't believe the tea we're spilling today. From secret breakups to shocking lies, hit subscribe before the drama starts. Welcome, everyone. There's a time before it all shifts. When the air is too thick, the quiet too deafening, a door, a cat, an inquiry. Christine's is the store just about the cat? Or about us? It was not about the cat. It was about the dissolution of a marriage the world believed would never shatter. Kody says, "Note intimacy." Christine packs the boxes. Sister wives, the moment it ended. The door that closed a marriage, it was a home improvement project. An ordinary door to keep the cat out of the upstairs. But as the hinges tightened, so did the pressure. Each screw turned like a countdown clock. Kody continued speaking. About the cat, about stock, about anything but them. And then Christine posed the question that had plagued her for years. Christine, is this door about the cat? Or our marriage? And Kody spoke the words. The words that destroyed the vision of unity, faith, and forever. Kody, I don't really want an intimate marriage anymore. Not wanting, not present, not in love. A heart stops quietly, no fight, no shouting, no slamming doors. Only the quiet sound of a woman discovering her marriage was dead for years. She just hadn't admitted it out loud. He came downstairs to eat breakfast. She remained upstairs, gazing at the door that wasn't a door anymore. How can attraction be measured in a relationship based on obligation? How do you grieve intimacy that died off silently in the corner of a shared house? Christine counted her fingers on one hand the times Kody had said to her she was beautiful. 5 fingers, 3 decades of love, devotion, and sacrifice. Boxers become BO1 days after. Boxers began to materialize. Not explosive, not aggressive, just present. Nightstand, bathroom items, fragile. Each one a sentence in a book no one needed to read the ending to. Kody paid attention. He called it ambivalent. But ambivalence is just heartbreak wearing a disguise. When a woman starts packing your nightstand, you're not just moving out of a house, you're being erased from a chapter. The shrug that broke a heart, Christine asked him one last time. Is our marriage over? He shrugged. No words, no apology, just the smallest movement. That hit harder than any fight ever could. She called it the most humiliating moment of my life, because a shrug means you're not worth the answer. And that's when she decided, if he wouldn't say it's over, she would. Love vs. loyalty to Kody. Attraction had become conditional. Be a good sister wife, be loyal, be obedient. To Christine, it was more like a contract than a connection. Christine, if I need to fulfill all these requirements to be appealing to him, I am not being myself. And then the words burst out in social media posts across the globe. Christine, I think he has a favorite wife. With one sentence, the facade shattered. Years of whispered favoritism in the dark, the anniversary that never was celebrated their anniversary by going out to eat, returned home, slept. That was the evening Christine understood that the marriage had already... People go without intimacy all the time, he said to her. Not Christine. Christine, I cannot live in a half marriage. And that is when the silence ceased to be serene and began to feel like a prison. The unraveling the Browns appeared to be a family from the outside. Inside, they were shards revolving around a man who had already determined his hub. Janelle wondered about loyalty. Meri wondered about meaning. And Christine? Packed boxes? The door that kept out a cat had become symbolic, a gate between who she was and who she would no longer be. She didn't scream. She didn't plead. She simply said, I'm done. No intimacy, no marriage, no more silence. But what came next would divide the sister wives forever. Favoritism, patriarchy, and a custody war that changed everything. The custody clash, patriarchy, and Christine's escape, keywords incorporated, sister wives, Kody Brown, Christine Brown, Janelle Brown, Meri Brown, Robyn Brown, custody, patriarchy, divorce, Favoritism, no intimacy, you don't move, emotional breakdown. TLC Sister Wives 2025. Sister Wives full episode. Heartbreak, plural marriage collapse, the aftermath, the door was up. The boxes were packed, and the air inside Christine's home had changed forever. She didn't cry that night. She sat in silence, observing Kody typing on his computer, his back to her. The whir of the screen was more ear-piercing than any fight they'd ever shared. It's odd how a marriage concludes without yelling, but with silences so profound, it's as if grief disguises itself. When morning arrived, Kody prepared his breakfast and departed. No kiss, no words, just footsteps. Disappearing. 50. The custody clash, Christine made the decision. She was leaving. She was taking Truly to Utah, to family, to peace, to start over. Kody heard the words and froze. For the first time, he said the one thing Christine never expected. Kody, you can't take her from me. We'll have to share custody, 50% of a life. After years of nothing, Christine, he could have had 50-50 when we lived in the same town. That's the hurt so many people watching felt. The father who demands joint custody in front of the cameras, but who barely even appeared when the lights were off. The battle of words to Christine, it wasn't about control, it was about calm. To Kody, it wasn't about peace, it was about control. He said she never asked. She says she did. He says she told him. She says he ignored her. Every sentence now carried a second meaning. Every sigh was a war. Because when love turns into law, nobody wins, not even the truth. Favoritism and the loyalty TSTR Christine had been faithful. Faithful to the family, to the faith, to the promise that plural marriage still equaled love. But faithfulness in the Brown house had begun to equal obedience. And that word that tormented her kept echoing. Favorite? Christine, I think he has a favorite wife. Social media erupted. Viewers weren't just watching a family, they were watching a hierarchy. The way he defended Robyn, the way others felt dismissed, the way Christine said she felt invisible, love in plural marriage wasn't equal anymore. It was ranked. The Patriarchy Speech, then came the word that broke the internet. Kody, I'm going to be the head of my household again. If everyone's willing to conform to patriarchy, we'll be fine. Conform to patriarchy. Christine stared at him, the same man who once said this family was about choice, equality, shared faith. Now, he was talking about command. And for the first time in years, Christine didn't argue. She didn't cry. She simply realized she was done living under someone else's authority. The escape pill in Christine began packing in secret once more. But it wasn't bags of clothing this time. It was her future. Every drawer she vacated was a choice. Every taped up box, a fence. And when she explained to Kody she was leaving, he didn't try to stop her. He said nothing, because he didn't believe she would really do it. But she did. And for the first time in years, Christine felt able to breathe. No patriarchy, no conditions, no shrug, just air. I'm choosing peace, she said. I'm choosing joy. The other wives react. The family didn't know how to process it. Janelle understood, but feared what would come next. Meri saw herself in Christine's reflection. Robyn, Kody's favorite, as Christine said, was heartbroken, yet still defensive. Because Christine's decision wasn't just about leaving Kody, it was about shattering the system. And when one wife departs, everybody is wondering the question, am I next? Kody's anger once Kody knew Christine was really gone. Then came the rage. He accused her of betraying him, that she was not loyal, that she poisoned the family. But beneath the anger lay something else. Fear. Fear of losing control. Fear of losing the image. Fear that without Christine, the cracks in their whole system of beliefs would at last appear. Because when one woman leaves patriarchy, the others realize they have legs too. Public reaction fans, inundated commentaries, Reddit forums, and hashtag Team Christine trended on overnight. Viewers dubbed it a masterclass in quiet power. Others questioned, could plural marriage ever be really equal? If it always demands submission, and in one moment, one sentence, one doorway, Christine Brown rewrote the conversation forever. Christine's rebirth freedom wasn't gained with fireworks, it was gained with peace. Peace that doesn't require validation, but simply air to breathe. For so long, Christine thought God desired her to live plural marriage, but she realized something profound. God isn't interested in you being miserable. He's interested in you being free. She chose herself. She chose her child. And perhaps, for the first time, she chose love. Genuine love. What remains the Browns are irreparably altered. The family that once taught unity now exists in shards. Kody insists he'll rebuild with Patriarchy. Janelle questions all. Meri questions if it's ever too late to begin again. Robyn is left holding what remains of the dream. And Christine, she's not rebuilding a marriage. She's rebuilding herself. When Kody said, "I'm not interested in intimacy," he thought he was ending one part of their relationship, but what he really ended was the illusion, because intimacy isn't just physical, it's connection, and once Christine saw that was gone, she knew it was time to leave. He closed the door. She opened a new one. Next, we'll uncover the unseen moments, the secret conversations, the jealousy, and the final scene that turned heartbreak into rebirth, the last goodbye, Meri's surrender, and Janelle's revolt, the quietest ending by the time Christine left. The house didn't echo anymore, it sighed. And in the silence she left behind, another woman's story began to unravel. Quietly, Meri Brown waited for years, waiting for love to come back, waiting for something that once was real. She had endured through humiliation, distance, and the slow stranglehold of being unwanted. But this time, even she couldn't deny the reality. Kody met her eye and uttered words that were colder than any goodbye. "Kody, I can pretend to be in love if I must. If that is what you desire, pretend. Love." Two words that can shatter a 30-year vow quicker than any infidelity. Meri's farewell, he deemed it obligation. She deemed it agony. Being a wife, a role, not a bond. For Meri, she had existed years without love. Living off recollections, not instances. "Meri, I know you don't feel like you're married to me." "Kody, that's not true. But it's not going to change." And that's when Meri knew this wasn't marriage. It was limbo. The space between what was and what never will be again. You can't build a house when one person's already moved out in their heart. So, she let go. Not in anger, but in exhaustion. Janelle's revolt, while Meri's ending was quiet, Janelle's was fire. For months, she'd carried the weight of keeping peace, obeying rules, navigating loyalties, holding the family's fractured edges together. But when Kody demanded loyalty over love, Janelle snapped. He accused her of She accused him of control. "Janelle, you're blaming me for everything. You're twisting this around," he shouted. She stood her ground. Because when a woman finally stops explaining herself, the argument is already over. This wasn't rebellion, it was release. The explosion, Kody wanted unity. But unity built on obedience will always collapse. He blamed Christine for leaving. He blamed Janelle for siding with her. He blamed Meri for not being joyful enough. But when everybody else is the fault, perhaps the issue is not them. During that last confrontation, Kody's voice broke, anger laced with regret. "Kody, you wanted to renegotiate the relationship, but you wouldn't even have a good one with them." It wasn't anger. It was terror, of loneliness, of losing the image, of discovering control does not equal connection. The faith that fractured for decades, the Browns had been convinced that plural marriage was a sacred calling, a higher path, a divine test of patience and faith. But now, even faith couldn't contain what love had already abandoned. Christine no longer felt it was her purpose. Meri no longer felt it was her reward. And Janelle no longer felt it was fair. The doctrine promised unity. The reality provided division. Freedom and fallout. Christine moved in alone in Utah. Her own place, her own quiet, her own voice. For the first time, she laughed without glancing over her shoulder. She shopped for one. She woke up without waiting for someone to arrive. And as fans applauded her courage, Kody encountered something no one is prepared for. A mirror. When the cameras went away and the home was silent, he wasn't surrounded by wives anymore. He was surrounded by echoes. The echoes of all that he'd lost. And all those who finally stopped waiting. The legacy of broken promises. The sister wives started out as a tale of unity and difference. A family that could overcome the odds. But what it ended up being was a lesson. That love cannot be legislated. That devotion cannot silence isolation. And that fidelity without closeness is mere existence. Kody thought he was constructing a kingdom. Christine merely sought a home. And they both wound up with what they constructed. The world responds, millions viewed with horror. Hashtags dominated globally. Hashtag Team Christine. Hashtag Justice for Meri. Hashtag Janelle deserved better. People didn't witness merely a family disintegrating. They witnessed themselves. In each woman who lingered too long. In each man who confused control with care. In each human being who understood that love does not equal losing yourself. The Browns presented the world a mirror. And, for one moment, reality TV represented reality. The last goodbye, no final shot, no ideal ending. Just humans learning to breathe in new ways. Christine, liberated. Janelle, Meri, healing, Kody alone, still attempting to rewrite what cannot be rewritten. He once had 4 wives and 1 dream. Now he has one truth. Love cannot live where respect has passed away. The message Christine once spoke of, I just want peace. I just want joy. And that's what she found. Not with revenge, not with anger, but with release. Because walking away does not equate to failure. Sometimes it means survival. She packed her boxers, she shut the door, and she finally opened her heart for herself. This was more than the dissolution of a marriage. It was the rebirth of a woman. And perhaps that's what love really looks like. Not who you stay for, but who you become when you stop settling. Kody says no intimacy. Christine packs the boxer sister wives. Subscribe for emotional recaps, analysis, and real moments behind the cameras. This family's drama is far from over. So smash like if you're hashtag Team Wives, subscribe for the next explosive update, and drop a comment below. Who do you think will win? Stay shady, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next scandal. Behind TLC's Sister Wives out.